Nuts and Bolts Sports. My name is Ashmere, and this is my first live segment. Welcome to everybody tuning in. I appreciate it. So, Nuts and Bolts, I kind of stumbled upon them. Somebody that's in the sports industry, that's a girl, sent me their information, and they reached out and said that they were looking for somebody to do some social media. And I didn't really know what that meant. So, at first, I wrote a blog for the website. And after that, I pitched a couple ideas, and I was just mentioning that we should do like a recap podcast. But all of a sudden, here we are live. So it's turned into something way different. So if I seem a little awkward, just bear with me. This is the first time I've ever done this before. But just a little bit about me. I graduated from the University of Oregon in, doesn't matter when. And I studied journalism, and so from there, I just wanted to progress in the sports industry, and I've always been into sports. I write a sports blog, and my mom, she actually got me into sports because she's always been like the cool wife that knew all of the different athletes and like all their stats. Like she was too cool. So I was like, I need to be just like my mom. So then after that, I studied journalism at school. And then from there, I just learned the different type of interviewing skills and things like that. And that's definitely how I grew in the field. So on this segment, we'll be here every Tuesday. Subscribe to the channel if you want to stay tuned at 6 o'clock. And I'll discuss NFL, NCAA, and fantasy football. If you saw the promo with the finger guns, it's exactly what I said in it. So let's just jump right into it. I guess we could start with college football just because that is what started first in, the fall season. And I guess we'll talk about the Ducks first because that's definitely I feel like it was the most eventful game of the weekend just because all the other teams played, their opponents were not, up to par as the Ducks and Auburn were, in my opinion, at least. I mean, like Ohio State shut them out, Alabama shut them out, Clemson, the champs from last year, shut them out. So it was just kind of like not fair to everybody else. But I was happy because it was a great opening season game. And I feel like that's what's most important is like it gets you really excited for football and it just makes you want to be like, hyped for the season again, like rooting for your alma mater. So the Ducks were ahead. I'm pretty sure everybody watched it, but the Ducks were up until the third quarter, and that's when things kind of got crazy. I mean, in the first quarter alone, the Ducks had 176 yards and 67 rushing yards. So after that, the next three quarters, they only had 166 yards total and 28 rushing yards. Pretty sure you can just say that the Auburn defense figured out what was going on and stepped up. I will have to give credit to the Oregon Ducks defense, though. I feel like in the past years, they've definitely not been the talking point of the team, and they really played very well. I mean, for them to hold Auburn to 2 field goals, that's just kind of, I feel like that's a difficult, SEC is like a very great program, and it's kind of hard for a Pac-12 team to kind of compete. And I just feel like Pac-12 itself has so many people that they need to compete with. And so for the Ducks to play against Auburn in the opening game and just really come in hot, I thought that was really great. Another thing is like college football is very unpredictable. So of course, everybody's butthurt just because you don't want to lose. But also I feel like the rest of the season, the Ducks can really learn from this experience because I mean, why are you handing off to Ferdell on 4th and 1 when you already know everybody in the nation that they know that that's the play? I mean, I got a text from my friend and he was like, we all knew that the handoff was going to happen and he was stuffed. And what happened? He was stuffed. So kind of not cool, but I just feel like I was listening to the post-game interviews and, it's just – you can't be too mad. It's not like game 5 or like game 8. It's just game 1. We're just learning. And from here, I mean, we just need to be Pac-12 champs and go to the Rose Bowl because that's definitely more important. Just kidding. It's not. But it is a very fun experience to do that. So I just feel like this is a great way for the Ducks to learn, come back, and just get with it. And I already kind of discussed the other college games. I just, it's kind of hard to go over such great offensive plays from teams that were predicted to win anyways. Another bummer news from today was the AP poll came out and the Ducks like went down and Auburn went to 10. And I just feel like the Ducks would have definitely improved if they would have moved up in the ranking if they had won. So that's kind of unfortunate, but things happen. So let's talk about some regular NFL football. The Packers and the Bears start for the opening season at 5 o'clock on Thursday, if I'm correct, for the 100th season of the NFL. I know we're all excited for NFL season to start just because if you're still a football fan now, you're committed. And there's just a lot more to pay attention to. There's just so many switches going on teams, and there's a lot of variety, I feel like. There's a lot of drama, like Ezekiel Elliott. Is he going to come back? I don't know. Of course, he'll come back because he's on a contract, but when is he coming back is the question. And just things like that. But back to the Packers and the Bears. I feel like last year Aaron Rodgers wasn't on his best game. You know what I mean? I just feel like he wasn't performing in Aaron Rodgers fashion. And so from there, it was kind of hard to pay attention. I like Green Bay. I mean, I didn't like Aaron Rodgers after I watched The Bachelor, though, but whatever. That's like a different topic. But from there, it's just, I feel like Green Bay has some making up to do this year, especially coming against the number one defense in the NFL. The Bears are they were rocking NFC champions last year. It's just like they really, in the West, they really had to, they're going to step up their game, and they're playing at home. Khalil Mack, my man, he's going to show off. I just feel like the Packers have a lot to prove. I don't know if they're going to win. I don't think they're going to win. I mean, they're playing in Chicago, so I definitely think the Bears got this one in the bag. But it'll be a fun game. I definitely have a lot to talk about after that. And I mean, Sunday will kick off in high gear, and that'll be very exciting. I'm hoping to go to the Raiders versus Broncos game on Monday, actually. So if I do, I'll have some cool B-roll to show everybody. And yeah, I mean, then we can kind of move on to fantasy. I don't know if everybody plays fantasy here, but I didn't really play with real people. I actually played like the NFL fake league with like just a bunch of random people that had like robot names, or they made up their names. I use my names I still have right now, which is Schmearface. And I definitely was thrilled to play this year because I'm playing with like a bunch of dudes from my high school. And I sent out a tweet actually, and I was just like, hey, does anybody have any availability? Because I really want to play for real. And so my friend hit me back and he's like, hey, we've got some space, like, whatever. So then we did the draft 2 weeks ago, and I haven't learned how to do a share screen yet, but I will just tell you who I've got. Give me 1 second. I did make a mistake though, because I'm going to be honest, I didn't know you could queue players. And so when I was queuing players, when I wasn't queuing players, I was running out of time, and I was typing people based off of this like very long list that I had made and crossing off the players that had been pulled and all of that jazz, especially when you're in the running back dead zone, if you've heard of that. I was going ham. Okay, so then Aaron Rodgers was the number one player next, so I think I got him in like the 8th round or something, and I feel like that's just not, it's like okay, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers, so I wasn't upset. But anyways, my team is Aaron Rodgers, Evan, Cooks, Johnson, Kamara, that was my number one pick, Howard, Tyler Boyd, Eckler, and then the Patriots kicker and the Patriots defense, whatever. I don't know how I pulled that off. And then on my bench, I've got Valdez-Scantling, who's playing on Thursday. I might put him in because I was reading that he's a good flex to have. So I'm still kind of debating. I only have 48 hours left to decide, so I need to get on that. Barber, Jackson, Howard, Ballage, and Kirk on Arizona. So it's going to be a fun season, I think. I'm a little nervous because you never want to lose, especially when it's like your first year as a girl playing with a bunch of your guy friends. But I'm excited. I don't have a ton of fantasy tips yet, just because I kind of want to see how Thursday plays out and I want to see how Sunday goes. And then from there, I feel like I'll have a better understanding. I mean, I feel like college football and NFL are the same. Like the first couple weeks, everybody's like getting back in action. They're playing preseason, which like all these injuries always happen, and people are very like they're under a lot of pressure, but not in the sense that it's like a real game, just because preseason, I mean, I don't really love preseason, but preseason is definitely where you're testing yourself and the rookies are testing themselves. And so it's a great way to see other players, but it's like not very crucial. And so that's why Aaron Rodgers didn't play any preseason games, because he didn't really believe it matters for him, which makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't do it either, but yeah. So that was my quick little tidbit for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely subscribe, check me out on my social handles, and follow the Nuts and Bolts website. We've got a ton of great writers on there. And I'm looking forward to hosting this every Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Bye.